Hey everyone, let's dive into the world of the Canaanites and fact-check their biblical references. The Canaanites lived from 3000 BCE to 1200 BCE. Their home was the Levant, a region mentioned frequently in the Bible. This area includes modern-day Israel, Palestine, Lebanon, and Syria. The Canaanites were not a single unified group. They lived in separate city-states, each with its own king, as described in various biblical texts. Despite their divisions, they shared a common language and culture. Their language was related to Hebrew, which is often referenced in biblical stories. They were skilled builders and craftspeople, a fact supported by archaeological evidence. They constructed impressive cities with walls, temples, and palaces, some of which are mentioned in the Bible. Their craftsmanship extended to pottery, metalwork, and textiles, all of which have been found in archaeological digs. They were also farmers, cultivating wheat, barley, olives, and grapes, as noted in historical records. Their strategic location made them key players in ancient trade routes. They connected Egypt and Mesopotamia, facilitating cultural exchanges that enriched their civilization. The Israelites, who came later, were significantly influenced by the Canaanites. The Bible contains numerous references to the Canaanites which align with archaeological findings. Archaeologists continue to uncover new evidence, shedding light on the historical context of these biblical references. The Canaanites believed in lots of gods and goddesses. El was the main god, the big boss of the sky and father of all the other gods. Baal was another important god, in charge of storms, rain, and making sure the crops grew. He was also the god of war. Then there was Asherah, a powerful goddess. She was like the mother goddess, in charge of love, babies, and fertility. She was often shown as a tree, a symbol of life. We know a lot about Canaanite myths and rituals from ancient texts found in a place called Ugarit in Syria. These texts tell us how they worshipped their gods in temples and outside shrines. They gave gifts to the gods, performed special ceremonies, and had big parties called festivals to keep the gods happy. They believed this would bring them good crops, lots of money, and keep them safe. The Canaanites were great sailors and traders. They sailed all over the Mediterranean Sea, trading with Egypt, Cyprus, Greece, and other places. One of their most special things to trade was purple dye, made from sea snails. This dye was really hard to make, so it was super expensive, and only the really rich people could afford it. We've recently learned even more about how good they were at sailing. Archaeologists found a Canaanite shipwreck deep in the Mediterranean Sea. This shows they were sailing farther than we thought, a long, long time ago. They also traded wood, olive oil, wine, and pottery. They were also good at working with metal, like bronze and iron. All this trading made them rich and brought them new ideas and inventions from other places, making their own culture even cooler. Sadly, the Canaanite civilization began to fade away around 1250 to 1150 BCE. A few things caused this, like other groups attacking them, fighting amongst themselves, and maybe even changes in the environment. A mysterious group called the Sea Peoples sailed into the area and caused a lot of trouble, and fighting between the Canaanite cities made them weaker. Some scientists think that things like cutting down too many trees and bad soil also hurt the Canaanites. Even though their civilization ended, they left a big mark on the world. Their culture, language, and stories influenced other people who lived nearby. The Israelites, who came later, adopted some of their customs and beliefs. Even the Hebrew Bible talks about the Canaanites and their gods. The Canaanites were a really interesting and creative group of people. Their cities, temples, and the things they made still amaze archaeologists and historians today. They remind us of the rich history of the Levant and how much ancient cultures can influence the world.